Welcome back, everyone. 14 and a half after the hour. And today in Behind the Headlines, we take you to Orange County, California, where testing has uncovered the mystery behind over 40 people getting sick over the January 6th holiday known as Three Kings Day. In Latin American, Latino communities, there is a holiday known as Three Kings Day, and it refers to the day that the three wise men showed up to celebrate the birth of Jesus, according to their legends. So there's a type of bread that is manufactured, a kind of a sweet bread that is made for the occasion, and it contains a candy on the top of it and kind of a Jesus figurine inside of it. And it's a very common thing. This is known in many Latino communities for years and years and years. But this year, there was a terrible problem in that over 40 people got very ill after consuming this bread. And it had been in the papers there in Orange County, where they were trying to figure out what it might have been that harmed all these people. And now a pharmacologist who heads up S&N Laboratories, Neil Spingarn, testified that they got a sample of this bread. Not testified, he just told the newspaper. It wasn't a court case or anything, but he told the newspaper they got a sample of this Three Kings Day bread and found that it was contaminated with a substantial amount of a synthetic cannabinoid. Spingarn said the levels in the cake are not small. What is most striking is that this was not inadvertent. So somebody, they assume at this point, and they're investigating still, deliberately put this synthetic cannabinoid into the bread mix. Now, the owners of the bakery, it's Cholula's Bakery in Santa Ana, could not be reached for comment, but they have been cooperating with investigators. The bread was delivered to 9 different stores in Orange County and 1 store in Long Beach. More than 40 people who ate it got ill. They had symptoms including heart palpitations, dizziness, numbness, hallucinations, and this was just very frightening for these people, not expecting to be tripped out by eating bread. Now, the particular cannabinoid involved here is synthetic cannabinoid known as JWH-122. That's named after John W. Huffman, who is the research chemist who designed a whole bunch of synthetic cannabis agonists to use on in vitro research to try to figure out how cannabinoids interact with brain receptors. The JWH-018, for example, is one that is often used in the synthetic pot known as spice, or K2. And the problem with the synthetic cannabinoids is that they are, shall we say, turbocharged versions of THC. THC, the naturally occurring chemical, mimics naturally occurring molecule, I should say, mimics our own naturally occurring molecule, anandamide. And so we have these receptors in our brain that will react, that's called agonizing, right? They agonize that receptor. They'll react to that in the way that we're all familiar with. But when it comes time to do research, you can't depend on these natural cannabinoids because you've got limited amounts of time and you really need to exacerbate the symptoms that you're trying to detect. So Huffman invented these molecules, these synthetic cannabinoids, to be far, far more powerful than the THC that we're all used to. And in fact, according to statistics, 11,000 people went to emergency rooms in 2010 because of the ingestion of spice or K2. That number jumped to 28,500 in the following year. Now, the reason why these synthetic cannabinoids have gained such popularity is because when they're first created, they're not illegal. The Federal Controlled Substances Act lists the molecular contents of everything that's illegal, right? The molecular structure of everything that's illegal. So these chemists will invent JWH-022, that molecular structure is not illegal. Eventually, the feds get around to making that illegal, so they just tweak a molecule here or there, tweak an atom here or there, tweak a bond here or there. Now they've got a whole new chemical that's not illegal. So it's been very difficult for the government and other agencies worldwide to crack down on this because when they're first invented, they're not illegal. Underground chemists in China and India are making these new synthetics faster than the DEA and the FDA can possibly ban them. Now, it's still unknown how this synthetic cannabinoid made it into this particular batch of bread, and why someone would want to do that. It's definitely a criminal act, and we would remind everyone that through the legalization of natural marijuana, you remove a lot of the incentive for people to want to get involved with this synthetic crap. Which is all designed mostly to get around not only the illegality of cannabis, but also drug testing. Just like these molecules aren't recognized by the feds, they're not tested for in drug testing either. So soldiers and students and all sorts of people are using spice instead.